Are you ready to take your organization to the next level and become a game changer in your industry? Then look no further. Welcome to Yokai Business Show, where we bring you the world's top business thought leaders to share their secrets to success, from leadership development to finance, marketing, self-development, human resource management, and much, much more. Our guests reveal the strategies, tactics, and mindsets that have made them so successful. So let's dive in and learn from the best in the business. Hello and welcome back to another great episode. And today I'm so excited because of the subject we're going to be discussing with my good friend Jason here. To be honest with you, if you get this right, most of the things in your business will fall into place because sales have got the ability of bringing more people in your business, and you can deal with everything else. Without sales, you cannot be in business any longer. Jason, thank you so much for joining me for the first time on the show. How are you?
Thank you, Yukai. I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm very, very well. Look, man, I'm so excited about today because as we caught up earlier on, we talked about the 6 things you're going to cover. And I know they're going to be great, and I know people are going to love this. But before we do that, you have a very special saying, something that you've discovered about sales. Would you share with everybody very quickly?
Yes. What I had to learn after 3 small businesses that I started and then sold, I learned that sales is the way that you drive revenue, and it's the key to our business's survival and growth.
Oh, my goodness. Mm-hmm. It really is the key for survival. Imagine what's going on in the world right now with inflation. If you don't know how to do it right to get people in the door or people interested in what you're doing, you'll be out of business.
That's right.
Amazing. So if you're joining us for the first time, you are in for a treat. I hope you stay tuned right till the end until we cover all the 6 principles that we're going to discover. If you have to dash off at some point, can I encourage you to click the link below this video to be taken straight to Jason's website to discover more principles that we would be talking about here today. But I do wish you stay right through and take maybe 2 or 3 things that you're going to apply in your business, or you're going to share with your team so that they too can begin to apply them and you can see results. Our goal here at the show is to help you get closer to your goal. And I know Jason, having helped so many people, in fact, he's going to share with you some case studies that he may be just the person to help you to do your business today. Now, a little bit about Jason. Jason is a serial entrepreneur who started 3 different businesses in different industries from scratch, grew them, right, and then sold them over the years. He now works as a result-oriented business coach, helping people like you and I become even more profitable, build better teams, and help the business, the owners like you and I, get more free time. Bill, how much we love free time with our family, our friends, and have so much fun, and while at the same time making a huge impact in the world. Jason, once again, thank you so much for being here with me.
Thank you. It's my privilege.
Really quick, tell me what got you into doing what you're doing today? Maybe we start from there.
Oh, yes, you bet. What I realized early on is I really love business. I love just starting it. I love running a business. I love getting team members on board your business. It's just that exciting part that business has to offer. It's like a chess game where you're moving your pieces and achieving the victory. I just love every aspect of business.
Yes. Well, business, I've discovered that is like a spiritual marathon. It affects every part of your being. It teaches you how to manage your time. If you can do that in business, you can do that in your personal life. It's such an adventure, really. So I'm glad you got on to this journey. But talk to me about the sales aspect, because you had to go through different companies to get to a place where you truly appreciated the value of selling.
Yes. My first business early on and young, being young and all, I started a computer retail store where I would just fix computers. This was before plug and play. So folks would bring me their computer, or I would buy the components and I would install them, and then I would sell those. And it was in the early development of technology. So people were just coming, and the customers were coming in the store, and I would take good care of them. And then word of mouth would bring me another customer.
Yes.
The second business that I had was a internet service provider. And again, that was right off the heels as the internet was taking off. Believe it or not, it's not always been around. And so as it was taking off, customers were coming and they were signing up, and it was just going great guns. And then I sold that business. And then the last business I started was an interior landscaping company where we sold fish services, where we took care of fish tanks, fresh and salt water. We took care of birdhouses and nursing homes. And then we also began to do the commercial cleaning aspect. And now I realize that the customers aren't just showing up. They're not just walking in the door. Something's different. I'm the same person, and it's still a business, but they weren't coming. I had to figure out how to get the people to come. And that came through the knowledge of I'm a salesman. I'm not so much a business owner as I am a salesman for that business.
Incredible. Yes. Yeah. And we were talking earlier on that had you started applying the principles that we are going to talk about today, you would have seen more success earlier on. Do share with everybody.
Yes, that's for sure. So I started the company back in 2006, and I started that as a second job. So I had a full-time job taking care of my family with that wage, and then I grew this business on the side. Well, the problem is it grew enough to where now I've got 2 full-time jobs, and I had to make a decision.
Right.
So I recognized that in 2012, I quit my full-time job and went full-time on my own with this business. And that's when it became real serious. And that's when I recognized I've got to keep driving those sales to get this business to take off so that I can hire other people. And that's when I really realized that I've got to be better at selling than just expecting people to come to me. They'll build it. You build it, they'll come. Doesn't work in the sales in the business industry. We have to be out there selling our businesses.
Yes. If you don't, you would wait and wait and wait, and soon the family will be asking you, "Where's the money coming from?"
That's right. Yeah, and I have 5 children, so I had to get busy and make some money.
You do. Now, there are those that are listening today.
Yes.
When you start talking about sales, they begin to think that it is a dirty word. They just do not want to do sales.
Yeah.
How do you help people like that? Maybe before they switch off this conversation.
Yeah, don't leave yet, because I've got some good news for you. You're right. What happens is we typically think we're good at the widget making. We're good at the service that we provide, but sales was never what we intended to do.
Yes.
But I just need to shift your mind just a little bit and help you recognize that what you're doing when you're selling is you're helping to drive those dollars into your store so that your business can succeed and continue to grow. And then you can hire more people and continue to grow that if that's your desire, or you can just get to that level that you're looking for financially so that your business is taking care of all of your financial needs. And that comes through sales.
Yeah.
So I want to take that person through that journey of how to bring in those fundamentals to successful selling.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope you do stay right till the end, because these 6 principles truly is a game changer. I can attest to them personally. But here's what I've discovered, Jason, what helped me. In the beginning, I really did not like selling because I was afraid of rejection. People are going to say, I don't want to do this, or losing my close friends because they want to avoid me because of self. It was not a good place, because also I had been in the network marketing industry. I'm very thankful for that, because it taught me great skills. It had the driving part, get sales. So I started, sort of shying away from there until I discovered this concept that selling is serving. Yes. If you're truly passionate about helping people solve a particular problem, you will find a way of getting to them. And by selling, you are getting them to see the value of the solution that you have for them. And they get that. Once I had that shift mindset, now, if I truly believe that I've got a solution, as an example, maybe it's a cancer solution, somebody's dying, and they don't understand that they need it. If I have a solution, I would go to them and find a way of getting their attention and getting them to believe in the same that in the solution I have. So maybe you're listening, Bill, and maybe you're with kids. Just attempt taking an approach, slightly different approach. How much do you want to serve your community? How much do you want to serve your targeted niche? And if you truly want to serve them at the highest possible level, the concept we're going to talk about today are going to help you. I know you've helped a lot of people. Do you have any maybe case study to share with everybody before we jump on to talk about these principles?
Oh, absolutely. So I've got a current client, his name's Levi, and he is in the ownership role of this multi-team business.
Right.
And what we've done with him by helping him recognize that selling is his number one priority to help support the people that work for him in this company, it's helped him grow substantially in confidence. It helps him communicate then the sales message to the people that he's serving because he believes in his product now, because he's done the research, he's done the development to make sure that he is what he's saying to his prospects is that I have a good service for you. And he can back it up because he knows inside the organization, he's built an ideal service that helps meet the needs of his clients. And his attitude has changed too, because now he's got this positive attitude. Like you said, I'm here to help you. I'm not here to sell to you. If you don't have a need, and I've not educated to you about your need, like you said, cancer, the patient doesn't know they have cancer until a doctor tells them so. So the same thing on the sales side, until Levi tells them, hey, you have a place here that needs my help and my service, then I can provide you that cure that your business needs. And then from there, he can grow. So he's developed such an amazing positive mindset now because he views this whole selling prospect differently than he did before.
Love that. Incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you have it, Bill. If you want to develop those key skills, let's get going. Let's make sure that we apply this principle. Out of those 6, maybe you can start with 3, maybe you can start with 1 and work on it for the next week, a month, or even 90 days. Let's see what is going to come out of that. Let's Jason, let's go talk about these 6 principles. I know you have practiced these, you've taught them for the last 3 years now. What will be the very first area anybody who wants to become good in selling their services or products to focus on?
Yes, sir. The number one, and this is for all of us, the number one thing is we need to believe in our product.
Yes.
So, you can imagine let's say I'm going to work. We've all been in this situation before. You're going to work. You just got into an argument with your loved one. And now that's happened at home. You arrive to work and your coworker says, hey, Jason, how are you today? And you say, I'm fine. But they can look right through your eyes and they can see into your soul that you're not fine. Your face and your mouth communicated a message, I'm fine, but they can tell by looking into your eyes, you're not fine. And we think that when we present to our prospect, I have this great service. And in the back of my mind, the argument's playing about the team meeting we just had that said, hey, we lost 2 more clients and our service isn't as good as we thought it was. And then I go out and try to sell that message. They're going to see right through my eyes to my soul and recognize that you don't believe what you're saying. Yeah. So it's so important that we believe in our product. It starts there, that we're not fooling anyone. You legitimately need to believe in your business. And that's number one. It's the fundamental success for selling is that you have an unwavering belief in your product or service. Yeah. You mentioned it earlier, and a good mindset here is you're not selling people, you're solving their problems.
That's right.
You're serving your community by the thing that you have to offer meets their need. Zig Ziglar said that if you believe in your product or service that can truly fulfill a need, it's your moral obligation to sell it. And I would just take and modify that just a little bit and say it's your moral obligation to tell them about your solution.
That's right.
Because you believe in the product. So all of us business owners, that's number one. And we all definitely need to get on board with that. And really maybe a discussion for another time is if your product service isn't where it needs to be, then start there. Then get it to the point where it is so that when you're communicating to the world that your service and your product is the best, it really will be.
Yeah.
See? So it's important that we start with number one. We must believe in our product.
Yeah, I love that. And maybe, Bill, you are thinking, okay, how do I go about doing that? It really started by looking at What is it? What is your solution?
Yes.
What is the problem you are solving? And really test it out. See, is your service actually going to solve? I remember when I started in the world of internet marketing way back in 2009. My mentor, Mark Anastasi, said to me, before you go out and sell any service, we will, use it for yourself for the next 30 days and see the real results. And if the results are what you're looking for, you then can export it. So I want to encourage you, look at all the aspects of your solution or your service or your product. How does your product make it easy for somebody to live life a bit better? How does it stop their pain? How does it get them to look better or even to do things better? When you have got all those things, I know it may take time, 10, 20 minutes, or even an hour. Put it on a paper. The more you write on there, your belief goes up. So I want to encourage you, maybe you take a moment right now, or maybe after you stop driving, whatever you're doing, and really look at your service that is going to help you believe in your product. Because when you believe it, everybody's going to believe in it. They will buy you first before they even test your product. So the way you do it is make sure you know what's your solution. What is it that you're solving out there? Let's dive deep to talk about another aspect of selling for success.
Okay, and number two. So that's perfect, because I do know that a lot of small business owners love to help people. So when we say we're a salesman, that's yuck. But when we say we're a helper of mankind, that sits much better with them. So just remember that you are the helper of mankind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number two is develop that positive attitude. It's so important to maintain a positive attitude in the sales business. Look, it's no secret, sales and selling is challenging. There's rejection out there. There's some setbacks in the process. You thought you were going to get that deal, and then your competition comes in and snatches it right at the end. But look, it's so important that we develop a positive mindset so that we can bounce back from those setbacks and we can stay motivated and we can enthusiastically approach each interaction. It's a new one. Don't worry about what just happened. This is a new transaction, a new interaction you're having, a new person that needs your help with your product and your service. Yeah. So a good mindset here is to recognize that no's, as you mentioned earlier, no's can be discouraging to hear because somehow we kind of tie that no to me as a person. That's not the case. No is just them saying, not a rejection for you. It's really them saying, no, not now. That's right. Because here's what we know. Research has showed that it takes about 80% of the sales happen after 5 follow-ups. 5. And most of our business owners, they have this attitude of rejection, and so they walk away. 44% of us give up after the first follow-up. Then we're done, and we're missing out on those 80% that just took 5 more contacts to reach out to them. So a no doesn't mean no, it means not now. So that's number one. And then the other aspect that I want you to recognize about no's is that you still, with that positive attitude, you can turn that no around later in those subsequent follow-ups. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You'll be able to get there. It's just no just means not now.
Yes. Jason, one of the things that helped me in maintaining positive attitude is the belief that life happens for me, not against me. And this no or this rejection is actually all working out for me. Maybe that particular person is not good to do business with, or long-term wise. Maybe, they will be maybe quite a handful. They're going to take you away from other bigger opportunities. So my approach personally is I am always at the receiving end. I'm always accepting what is coming my way. When things don't go my way, I say, okay, it is what it is right now. It's up to me to stay down or to get up one way or the other. I have to be up there, but I have to be up. I have to be positive. I have to help. The reason why is if I stay down and I say, oh, it's not working, somebody who needs my service is already out there. Somebody who is in pain, and I have a solution, is waiting for me. And I cannot serve them at the highest level when I'm in this state. I've got to get myself to be in a positive attitude. Now, there are many different ways you can do that. Maybe you take some time out Maybe you relook at the way of your presentation. Did you present it very well in the way they understood? It could be because you didn't present well. You didn't do your research. There are all those variables. And with the right attitude, positive attitude that I'm in this to serve people, I help mankind, and life happens for me, not against me. I tell you, from my personal experience, gets me up there in the morning, let's go and do it again.
That's right. And you know what, like we said, not let's face the fact when we're going in with this positive attitude that we go in recognizing that not everyone is going to say yes to us. We
That's
just
right.
know that it's not where they're at right now. We know that. So that's why we have what we call conversion rates. Those are every time that I have a sales call versus how many times I close the deal per those sales calls. And let's say it's 6 times out of 10, you're going to hear the answer no. So you have a 40% conversion rate. Then I know that 6 times out of 10, I'm going to hear that word no. And that's a great thing for me because one, it means I have a potential customer later. Again, 80% takes 5 follow-ups. So I've got a new potential customer. Yay. And the other thing is I've got one less no yet now so that I can get to my 4 yeses today so I can have those 4 deals. And so that becomes the positive thing that we can look at when we're trying to shift our mindset. And something we need to recognize is that positivity, that positive attitude, it's attractive. Positive people want to be around, other people want to be around positive people. Your energy will resonate with your customers. You'll appear more attractive and more likable. And you had Dr. Shahab on your show in early August, and he said that people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust.
That's right.
And that by having that positive attitude, even if they say no today, when they see you again, it's not going to be with dread that they see you again. It's going to be with a little bit of excitement. Oh, good. I need some positivity. And here comes Jason in again. I'll have a conversation with them. And that'll just maybe get my mind off of what's going on. And you have that opportunity to develop that like that they have with you so that you eventually will be able to do that business with them.
Absolutely love that. You know, that positive attitude, people won't forget you because they will come back to you. They may not do business with you right now, but you leave a lasting impression with them because people are miserable out there. You know,
Yes,
let's
they
face
are.
it. And if you are different and you're positive, you're going to be memorable. You know, like, who's that guy? You know, the happy guy, the guy who looked at everything positively. Oh yeah, this guy. Okay, can you find out what else he can do? Maybe he might be able to help us, or he might connect us to the right person. So you make that impression on others. So love that. I think it's a good attitude to have. Let's talk about the next pillar, the next principle on
Yes.
doing it well.
Yeah, and this for the business owner, it's not hard for them to understand this, but it's setting goals. Good business owners and salespeople, they set goals. And in particular, I'm talking about your sales goals. So we know going in as a small business, I want to get $100,000 this year in dollars, euros, yen. I mean, this is an international show, so I want to make sure I cover them all. But you want to earn that kind of money this next year in your sales efforts. Then you're going to break those down into the 12 months that you have to do that. And you're going to break those down into the weeks. And you're going to set those goals then. And you're going to make sure that you stay on track to hit those goals. Because obviously, as you're hitting those goals, you're going to build your positivity. You're going to build your company. You're going to build your monies to support your team that you have on board with you. And having those goals, they need to be that SMART goals. We've all talked about this before. They're SMART. That acronym stands for specific, measurable, obtainable, they're reasonable, and they're timeline oriented. So again, I've got 1 year to get that $100,000 sales target that I have for this year. So that we know that Tony Robbins says that setting goals is the first step to turning the invisible into the visible. Yes. So I just want to encourage Bill out there, set some goals. I want to sell 20 widgets this year. I want to sell 10 per month. I want to sell 5 per week. Whatever that goal is, set those goals and then make sure nothing stops you from achieving those goals.
Yeah. Incredible. You know, setting goals is one of those exercises that everyone should learn to do. They did a research of the graduates from Stanford several years ago. They found out that the graduate that did not set goals, they didn't go anywhere after 10 years. And those that set goals in 10 years, they had reached their goals and were working towards other goals, which is an amazing. You know, I was reading in the book, Cialdini's book, The Influence Guy. And also in my personal life, areas I don't have goals on, they don't go anywhere. But the areas that I put a goal and decide why I want that goal, I do the 7-level deep, like, okay, why do I want this? Why do I want this? I hit those goals. Okay, let's dive on to the next one, which I think is the most important one of them all.
Number 4 for Bill is, and this is something I've learned in my own personal life, is you need to continually be learning. You're continually learning, you're continually improving. So that means that in a couple areas. One, we're going to be continually learning about our product, our industry, and staying aware of what the trends are, maybe some sales techniques, best practices. Those are the things we're trying to learn and improve. The idea is that as we keep an eye on our industry, we might be seeing ahead that such and such a thing is going to come out to make our industry obsolete. I mean, we know that Blockbuster, we went to where we can stream online, so no one needs to go rent videos in a store anymore, right? So if we're watching trends, we can be ahead of that, and we could have adjusted. We could have beginning in Blockbuster's case, maybe we could have started doing some downstreaming. So by paying attention to what your industry is doing and learning, and you can make adjustments and improve your business along the way. The other thing is that we usually need to be attending those training sessions, those workshops that other people offer. There are seminars to help enhance your skills, to broaden your knowledge base. And also seek feedback from mentors, like your business coach, for one, colleagues, other business owners that you know in other towns that are non-competitive for you. Those are great people to be kind of learning and improving from in your business. Consistently learning and refining your approach will help you stay ahead of the curve, continuously evolving as a sales professional. Successful author and speaker Brian Tracy, he says that as a good rule of thumb is to invest 3% of your income into self-improvement, education, and development, that learning is a good rule of thumb. When I was a director of radiology, I only had my associate's degree, but I knew that I needed to go after that bachelor's degree so that I would have that next level of education that was going to help me be a better director. It was going to help me be a better person, a manager of my people, by having that constant education. An interesting fact is not only did Mr. Tracy say that, but Tom Corley, he spent 5 years interviewing over 230 millionaires and discovered that they had 6 habits in common. And one of those habits was constantly learning and self-improving. In fact, over 70% of them read self-help books as one method of the constantly learning and developing themselves. And again, I mentioned Dr. Shahab earlier. He talked about growth mindset during your podcast. The mindset for continuous learning and improving is that one believes that intelligence and talent can be improved on, and the effort and learning of our growth and our development. So that's such a key, is to constantly be learning and developing and changing and improving over time.
While we're talking about learning and development here, I know there are people who wants to carry on learning from you, beyond this podcast and our recording. Where can they connect with you, Jason?
Oh, absolutely. So they can go to my webpage, Perfusion CT. So Perfusion Coaching Training, that's what the CT stands for, perfusionct.com. And you can even sign up for a 30-minute free consultation where we can just sit down and talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about. I promise your listeners, it's not a sales call. It's just an opportunity to communicate. It's something I wanted to throw out there. So if anyone wants to just have a conversation, what would you do about this? How might I help me with my being positive thinking? Help me with my continuous learning. What would you recommend? We could just have those conversations. Yeah. And that's on my website.
Yes, and the link is also below this recording if you want to go directly to the website. It'd be good for you to do that. Really and truly, your success is in direct proportion to your level of learning. If you don't want what you're experiencing right now, maybe the first area to start looking at is what is it that you're learning about your industry, about yourself, about what's going on, just like Jason is saying here today. So can I encourage you, maybe can I challenge you right where you are? Look at your business right now. Look at areas that are not producing the result that you want, and begin to think, what is it that I don't know that I ought to know around this area? And seek out for a coach or a mentor or somebody who is getting the result that you want, so that they can share with you the secrets or the systems that they use. And you may just find out that's the fastest way to get to where you want to be from where you are without so much pain. Because when you learn from mentors, you're getting success without pain, because you are learning from people that have experienced the pain. So you are paying, if you're paying for the service, you're paying for their pain so that you can just benefit from that. So I want to encourage you. This is something that I do on a regular basis. As a matter of fact, when I'm out and about, I'm listening to some development, some personal development, or some of my professional aspects, so that I get to learn. I use what Tony Robbins calls the net time, no extra time. They do what you're doing and learn something new as well. I cannot overemphasize this. I think it's part of who we are as business owners and people who are there to serve. Let's talk about the next one, which again is a must for people like you and I.
That's right. So I want to end before I jump to the next one, which is resilience and perseverance. I want what you just said about continuing to learn more and improving ourselves as we go. One way to do that is podcasts like this.
Yes.
Why listen to the news? Well, we just talked about it when we were leading up to the show about how bad things are out there, the inflation you mentioned earlier, and there's tons of bad news out there. Why waste the time listening to those when you can convert that and just pop in Yuki's podcast, and we could be listening to that and have a positive interaction during that 15-20-minute drive to work or commute to work or lunchtime, rather than listening to bad news. That's such a key to help keeping our positive attitudes, to keep that bad news out, and podcasts are a great way to do that. We're killing two birds with one stone. But let's do the resilience and perseverance, because there's no doubt that selling is a roller coaster ride. It's up and down. And we want to be that. We want to be honest about that up front. We all experience that. None of us ever started a business and said, I want to have a business where I have to sell. That was one of my worst things. I didn't want to be a salesperson because I always felt I was interrupting someone or wasting their time. And that's, again, because my mindset wasn't right. And having learned this, I recognize that I am there helping them. And so I get excited when it's the idea of going out to sell, because I'm going to see who needs my help. And I'm ready to provide that help when they need it. So being that resilient and that perseverance, and recognizing that those ups and downs are going to happen, you're going to face challenges. Look, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you've already faced a lot of those challenges now, and you've persevered. So I know you're someone that can do it. It's just a matter now. Let's apply that in ourselves so that we can bounce back and be ready to go. We know that you already have a propensity for resilience and perseverance. You are that person. We're just going to apply it to ourselves a little. You need to see those obstacles as opportunities for growth and learning. Those obstacles, when someone mentions to you an objection, you recognize, well, maybe that my product isn't a good fit and we can move on. Otherwise, maybe they're misunderstanding that your product is the answer, and here's how I can educate you on how that is. But understand that the word fail means first attempt in learning. Yes. You're not done. You can adjust and go again. You learn from rejection. You analyze what went wrong, and you make the necessary adjustments to improve and to push on like you know you can. Remember, not every no does bring us closer to the yes. That's what we need to recognize. And we remember what Sir Winston Churchill said. This is the lesson. Never give in, never give in, never, 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 never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. And what wisdom that is for us as business owners. We can never stop. The people that work for us depend on us. My family, and not only my family, but their family, they have children. They have a wife or a husband that is also depending on that income. So I'm never going to give up. And I want you to have this kind of mindset when it comes to resilience and perseverance, is that don't be ignorant. There's going to be hard times. We know this. In the face of those hardships, however, great or small, we will never give in to them. We will persevere and we'll learn all the while we're doing it. Nothing will stop us. We might not we might even need to ask for a little help. And that's what you mentioned about a mentor or a business coach. It's okay to ask for some help, but no matter what, nothing's going to stop us.
That's right. What a beautiful way of portraying, who we are. We never give up. We never give in. We keep going, because people are depending on us. Really, a lot of people are dependent, not only in currently, but also in future. I'll tell you a story. Some few years ago, Jason, we were talking about paying taxes, and all that. And someone made a powerful point. He said, if people did not pay taxes in a previous generation, we wouldn't have these roads that we drive on. We wouldn't have a lot of great things we have. We probably wouldn't have the heating system that we have. But some people paid a way for me to have a better quality of life that I have right now. And if I don't work hard on my skills, on my selling, providing my skill sets to others, I may not be able to pay tax. I may not be able to contribute. So that means I'm stealing really from the people that work very hard to make my life better. I'm not contributing to make someone's life better in future. So generation as a human race is not going to progress as much as it could because I'm not playing my part. So when they say that, it made sense in my head. I don't know, maybe Bill, it doesn't in your head, but I know it does. But it did make sense to me that we have to do what we need to do just in honor of the beautiful life we have right now. Let's pay it forward. And right. Selling your services well, serving very well is one way of doing that indeed. Let's talk about time management as our final point here together.
Yes, and this is kind of a hard one for a lot of business folks because what they don't recognize is it's okay to let go. Yeah. We tend to want to, no one's going to do it as well as I do. And I totally understand that. I'm sure Bill feels that way, is that he's built this business because it's been him all along, but we can't keep growing this business to the next level if we don't have help and we delegate some of those things off to other people. Again, most of us are good at making our widgets. We're good at making products and providing a service, but we're not good at payroll. We're not good at the bookkeeping. We're not good at leadership. Some of those things can be passed off to other folks inside your organization, or you hire someone that can take on that outside and support their business. I'm thinking of like a payroll business or a marketing company. Let the marketing company have the marketing component, because you're not good at marketing. You're good at making the widget. You're good at doing the service, but you're not good at marketing the message. And that's okay. Let someone else have that. Delegation is key to helping the business owner manage their time better. One of those things I mentioned, and you mentioned it in my intro, was I want to help business owners get time back.
That's right.
One way to do that is through delegation. We need to recognize that proper time management means I can't do it all. I'm going to need to pass off some of those components to other people in the organization. That's why if you look at these big companies out there, they have at the base level, they have team leaders. And then the team leader reports to a supervisor. The supervisor has a few team leaders that they're over, but they report to a manager who has a few supervisors underneath of them. And that manager reports to a vice president. And that vice president has a few managers underneath of them that they control. And then that vice president has to report to the president. And even the president has to report on to the shareholders and the board of directors. But the idea is not one person's doing it all. They broke out those things so that they can have more time to be dedicated to their role. And you as a salesperson, or you as a business owner, I need you to recognize that sales is such a key component. That would be one of the last things I'd want to see a business owner pass off, because when it comes to selling that business, you're the one that knows how well the business runs. You know every aspect of that business. You need to be the forefront, the face of your business out there driving those sales so that you can bring that revenue in and you can cause that growth to happen inside your organization. If a business is to scale, it's going to involve other people. I mean, that's just the way it ends up happening. And we do that through delegation. We also need to ensure that we're wisely focusing on what really matters as a business owner. We find ourselves so much doing all this busy work that we end up with a 12 and 14-hour day, and that's now interrupting work-life balance, because now obviously work is spilling over into our home life to where we're not able to be with them when they're at their game, or when we're not having those family time together at those parties and those get-togethers with our family. We're on the phone answering emails and stuff, and we're not currently present. That's because we don't manage our time well. And so I really want to encourage Bill and all of us to be better managers of our time in our business so we can push off some of those things, stay focused on what's important, stay in your lane, Do those things that matter to you. You know, I've met with several business owners and they'll have doctor's appointments on their schedule. They'll have a team meeting on their calendar. They'll have their sales meeting on their calendar. But rarely do I ever see a business owner where they've written down a space that says, go develop a relationship with one of your clients. Go meet with a prospect so that you can just have a conversation with them. We tend to let those things get pushed back. But remember what I said earlier, 80% of those sales require the fourth and fifth follow-up. So those no's that happened 3 weeks ago should be appearing on your calendar soon so that you're back out again at that business having that conversation. Hey, I know you said no 3 months ago. I'm just back to see if anything's changed, if you've got some new ideas that I might be able to help you with, just to make sure that everything's going okay here. Your situation's still currently the same, or has something changed that I might be able to help you. See, that's that time management. We're managing our time so that we're planning ahead to go back and do those follow-ups. There's just so much about time management that gets in our way that we don't recognize because we let things crowd us out. And I really want to encourage your Bill and all of us, again, find ways to manage your time more effectively.
Wow, incredible. And do you have any suggestion of where they can start from, maybe website or system they can use?
Oh, absolutely. So I have what I call the 5 Ps of time management. You can go get things done is by Donald Allen, I believe is his name. He wrote a book on getting more things done. Those are great books. You can do some research on the internet, just do some searches about time management. But my 5 Ps are, the first thing I do is I pull things, P-O-O-L. So as something comes into my life, I'm writing it down. I'm not letting it stop what I'm doing. I'm just going to make a note of it, whether that's on my phone, whether that's in a little flip notebook that I keep in my pocket, but I'm just going to make myself a note of this thing. And then I'm going to address it later and stay focused on the subject that I'm working on. In the morning when I'm having coffee, I'm going to take that pull list and I'm going to start processing it. Right. And when I process it, I'm going to look at, is this something that I need to do, or is this something I need to give to someone else? So maybe it's a follow-up email or a problem with payroll. I can delegate that to Bob to take care of, or Susan's going to take care of that. And that gets it off my list. So that's what I'm doing when I'm processing. I'm recognizing what of this list belongs to me and what do I need to pass on to the other person. So I also plan. Then I'm going to make that plan. Okay, I'm going to make this number 1. This thing on that pool that became my responsibility, this becomes number 1. This one's a number 3. This one's number 2. And so I'm planning that. And then I'm going to process it. So then I'm going to be productive. I'm going to start getting those things done. I'm going to do the work that I need to, and I'm going to stay on one until I get it done. This idea of multitasking is part of our problem. We get so distracted because we multitask so inefficiently that we're really not getting anything done to the quality that needs to be done. So just one thing at a time. I call it my MIT, my most important thing, and I stay on it until I get it done. And then the last thing is at the end of my day, I prioritize things for tomorrow. Was there something I didn't get done? Does it need to go to my list tomorrow? And I'll put it on and I'll go ahead and have that on my pool for the next day. And that's how I get my thing. That's how I manage my time. One of the tricks that I have is those 5 Ps for time management.
Oh, love those ones. I've never had it being said exactly like that. I certainly will be implementing that system of yours, the 5 Ps of time management. Truly love that. Pull, process, plan, productive, and go and prioritize. I love that. Awesome. Absolutely love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to learn more or continue developing in your learning what you're discovering today, go to the website below. In fact, let me give that website to you. I had written it down here. Jason, actually, maybe you could tell people which website it is.
Absolutely. So you can reach me at perfusionct.com. That's my website. And on there, you can schedule some time with me. Like I said, we can have that free consultation. I have ebooks on there. And as a matter of fact, I've got an ebook out there that is called The Quick Guide in Sales Breakthrough, Mastering the Essentials, Building Trust, and Closing with Impact. And that's free to your listeners. They can just go jump on, download that book. And a lot of what we talked about today is in there, plus the 12 rules of sales. That's in there as well. And so that's free to them. I just want them to have that opportunity to get that. You can also find me on LinkedIn. I'm Jason Spangler at Perfusion. So you'll find me on LinkedIn. And of course, I'm on Facebook too at Perfusion Executive Coaching.
Thank you. Thank you. And you can get also by just clicking the link below, you go straight to Jason's website. Man, this has been truly wonderful, and thank you for your generosity in sharing what you know. I certainly have a lot of takeaway from our conversation today.
That's awesome. Well, one of the things I appreciate about you, Yuki, is that you want to help businesses. And that's where I'm at too. I'm all about how can I help you? Having been there and done this and got my 3 businesses bought and sold, I know how to help people get to that next level. And one of those levels includes the exit strategy. So I'm happy to help people understand you can't just, I'm going to sell my business. There's the steps that have to take place. And I'm happy to help anyone go through those steps along the way. So thank you for your caring about our business community.
We love that. Thank you. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, thank you for being here. If you are a returning listener, we truly appreciate you being here as well. And if this was your first time, write to us. Let us know how you find our conversation today, or just leave us a review on Google so that we may help other people. And as always, never leave a place of discovering new concept without scheduling when you're going to be implementing that. So can I encourage you, what is it from today that you are going to schedule to implement, and when are you going to implement that? Maybe you take a mental note. If you are driving, or if you're sitting on, somewhere near your desk, just write it down in your notebook, on your journal, that, okay, I'm going to implement the 5P of time management system tomorrow. And then start working with it. Little steps. They often open wide, big doors wide. So I want to encourage you to do that. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, remember to live well, live with passion, know that the best is yet to come. And goodbye for now. Thank you for tuning in to Yokai Business Show. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode and have gained valuable insights and inspiration from our amazing guest. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review to help us spread the word. Also, be sure to check out our Leadership Ultimate Success Mastermind program, which is designed to help you and leaders in our community to do great things and support each other along their leadership journey. Until next time, live well, live with passion, know that the best is truly yet to come.